This is going to be a channeled message, but not my typical channeled message. I'll pull some cards if needed, but I'm just going to tap into the energy of the collective that's going to be watching this video. Okay, so immediately they're showing me 10 of Cups, which is complete emotional fulfillment. It feels like we're stepping on a precipice. There's a precipice. We can see the horizon. We're not quite sure what the way down is yet, though. They're showing me us standing on the edge of a cliff and looking out over to the horizon, and you know that everything that you have been desiring is on the other side of that cliff, and now it's kind of just like, okay, well, how am I going to get down there? Like, do I have to make a slide? Do I have to, build some stairs? What's the move here? And so you've kind of just been in this waiting period. And this waiting period, it feels like, has probably been longer than you've been desiring. Feels like potentially it feels like we've moved out of the discomfort of the waiting, because part of the waiting period was actually designed to get you out of this mode of needing things to be a certain way before you can be happy. And so with this elongated waiting period, it has been forcing you not only into a state of surrender, but ideally into a state of acceptance and into a state of peace. And that'll be a good indicator for whether or not this particular channeled message is for you and for your collective or not, because there will be a shift that has happened or is in the process of happening where you have actually fully allowed yourself to surrender, and you're moving into a state of acceptance and peace in all circumstance, not just with the desired outcome, and finding the innate and ingrained sense of self-love and self-worth that has existed within you the entire time. But I think that there has been a lot of your worth that has been attached to this particular outcome happening. And that's part of this shift that has occurred internally. So there is this letting go process that you're undergoing, that you have undergone, where you are finally kind of breaking the code of what it actually takes for these manifestations to come in, because all along it needed you to be in a state of acceptance and surrender, and it needed you to know your enoughness, to know your worth regardless of outcome. Even if you didn't achieve the things that you wanted to achieve, knowing that you were still enough, that you were still whole, that you were still complete on an embodied level, not just an intellectual level. And I think that that's part of this process for you as well, because it was probably at least partially intellectualized and not fully embodied. And you're like, no, I'm doing all these practices. I love me. But there was still a part that didn't fully believe it, because they were still attached to outcome. They were still externalizing. They were still holding on to something that is outside of them that was going to bring them fulfillment and happiness. And part of the realization is, oh wait, no, I can only ever give that to me, and I can only ever have that right now. It's not going to happen in some far off moment in time. It feels like there's a process of letting go of Hurts, and also things that are not in alignment, and the reason that they're phrasing it in two different ways, like both of those ultimately are the same thing. So there are past situations that have created heartache, that have created like wounding of various kinds, and a desire to like protect oneself. And so there's this process that's happening right now where, first of all, there is a letting go of the things that aren't in alignment for your pathway forward. And at first, I think the initial reaction to some of this is that ignited heart wounding again, but it's important to see this as divine redirection. This is the universe showing you what your pathway forward is. And specifically the things that are falling away right now are, during this eclipse portal, are things that are fated to fall away. And so let them. And also recognize and know that that has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. That's them. It has nothing to do with you. So allow the movement, allow the change, allow the flow, and know that as the things that aren't in alignment leave you, they are clearing the space for the things that are in alignment, which will be coming down later down this pathway, further into the end of September. Because there is celebration coming. And the way off the cliff, the way off the precipice, was actually through this wounding, in a way. Through actually allowing yourself to sit in it. Because once you have finally stopped the externalization, you recognize and you realize that you don't need to build steps down. You don't need to find a way down, because when you're in alignment and when you are in complete union, the pathway unfolds for you. There is no force. There is no convincing. There is no, trying to make people see you, trying to attach onto love, to friendships, to any kind of external environment. That stuff falls away when it's meant to, and it stays when it's meant to. And you're allowed to trust in the divine unfolding, even if it doesn't make sense, and know that the divine the divine is you, ultimately. And so when we finally allow ourselves to sink into alignment, and when we finally allow ourselves to trust fall and to stop pushing and to stop externalizing, then we are falling into alignment with our higher selves and our soul. Our authenticity is our highest vibrational frequency, and we can think that we are being authentic while still hiding behind wounding. And so the only pathway to our highest level of authenticity is through that wounding. So that's why with this lunar eclipse, you're getting shown what's working and what isn't working, and you're being given the opportunity to really sink into what is working, even though it's uncomfortable. And allow it to be uncomfortable, because it doesn't need to be comfortable. And discomfort isn't going to kill you. It's going to be uncomfortable. And that's okay, because there are two halves to a whole, and if we don't accept the entirety of our experience, then we are rejecting a part of ourselves, because we are the experience. We are this. We are source, which means that we contain duality. And so you have to accept and surrender into all of it. And once you do that, then you are existing on the vibrational level that's going to call in your dream life. So that's it for today. I love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day.